Hey guys, it's Sabby Sabs. I have a special guest with me today. His name is Rome Bethea. He's also known as Look, a Black Atheist on social media. He's an activist, a video journalist, and he was an organizer for Bernie Sanders' campaign. Rome, welcome.
How you doing? How you doing?
Doing good. So before we get started in today's discussion, why don't you tell people a little bit about your background?
I mean, I came up just like anybody else from the hood, just some regular guy coming up, but I had troubles and I just didn't know where to point to, who made my neighborhood like this and whatnot, and that's what really just got me involved in everything. Seeing 40-something schools getting knocked down in Detroit, when I was a teenager, that really radicalized me and what got me here today.
All right. So the first question I have for you, you mentioned Detroit. In your opinion and from your experience, why do you think Michigan went for Trump in 2016 and now went for Biden in, the 2020 election?
Well, a lot of it had to do with the coronavirus. If the coronavirus wasn't around, Trump would still be president. And as far as 2016, Michiganders was just facing the NAFTA deal. They just signed. I think they just had passed the Patriot Act and all that. So we was going through a lot. People was losing homes. Never recovered from the recession up there. Detroit people was still losing their homes. That's why I think Detroit went to Trump by like 1 point or something like that. So but when Trump came up here, he was keeping it real. He was like, Hillary and all the Democrats, they passed the NAFTA deal. They sent your jobs off to Mexico, to China and whatnot, and he wasn't lying. And that had an impact on the voters. And that's why Michigan went for Trump. And a lot of them still are for Trump, because when he came here, he didn't lie. He did bring some jobs back here because we was going to deliver him the White House, but the libertarians kind of messed that up.
Mm-hmm. So another question that I have for you is that I know you were organizer on Bernie Sanders' campaign. During your involvement, did you feel any kind of pushback or hesitation from African Americans that are traditionally Democrat?
Oh yeah, of course. Like when I'm face to face with voters and I have to tell them to be worried, like even though I'm telling you to vote for Bernie Sanders, I'm not telling you to vote for him because he's a Democrat. I'm telling you to vote for him because he will fight against Democrats. And when a lot of them be like, "Oh, that's in-house fighting, and we don't need that in this." Like, yes, we do. Like, who else is going to tell you to get your act together besides your boys, besides your family? Somebody that's close to you. So if it takes somebody that's in the party to tell them, I'd rather it be, Bernie Sanders than somebody from the right outflank you from the left. Just like how Trump was during the debates. Trump was outflanking, was hitting Trump, Biden from the left on foreign policy. So, those, it just make it look bad when it's an outsider doing it. Make it look way worse. And I'd rather have Bernie than anything. That's what I had to really tell them. Like, we're gonna have fighting in the inside, but as long as it's for something that's good, I want to see all the fighting. I want to see every fight.
Yep. I know for me, like, I know I was somewhat surprised, like during the Democrat primaries, that Biden won some of the states that he won instead of Bernie. How did you feel about that? Were you surprised that like Biden won some of these states like on Super Tuesday instead of Bernie winning those states?
Yeah, and I really don't have any trust in the DNC, especially with with the primaries, and even the front runners even said that the ones with the most votes shouldn't be the nominee. So I I saw everything that goes on, And it's easy to rig a primary, but the general election is something else, and that's a federal crime. I doubt if they don't. I doubt if they want to go there. They can do what they want with their elections. And as far as I'm concerned, that election was not. That election was not. It wasn't real. It was. Yeah. Obama made a call. Everybody dropped. Pete Buttigieg had more delegates than Joe Biden at the time he dropped out.
Mm-hmm.
And
No, I feel you.
Even if we was facing black and brown, states next, what do you have to lose? You still gonna go up from here. So I don't know. It just don't make no sense to me.
Yeah,
Knowing that I went personally to these states and flipped hella voters myself, it just don't seem right to me.
right. I know, like I used to, before I lived in Massachusetts, I used to live in South Carolina, and whatever Clyburn says there, people just, it's like golden to them for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And all it took was for Clyburn to say, hey, we're going to elect Joe Biden. And everybody just fell in line. It was like, nobody like questioned, like, wait, should I vote for the person that is going to help me get things that I need, like healthcare, or should I just follow what Clyburn said?
But you also got to look at the form of media that they getting their information from. A lot of these black voters only watch CNN, MSNBC. They're not out there looking for independent journalism, especially black boomers, for one. They just turn on the news, hear this, and go about their day, or, so it's all about the program. And then when you turn on the news and you hear Bernie Sanders make my skin crawl and he's going to raise your taxes and, Central Park, stuff like that, it really takes a toll on voters. And sometimes they don't want to hear anything about the president, just like how they hearing all this about Trump. A lot of them was going to hear a lot of crap about Bernie from the left and the right, well, the left and the right. So I think a lot of them was like, nah, it's going to be, yeah. I just want everything to go back to normal.
Yeah. Now I know like you were very vocal about forced to vote. I think some people were confused about this whole thing. Can you explain to people what was the significance of them not voting for Nancy Pelosi as speaker?
Like, we could have kept Nancy Pelosi vote in limbo as long as we wanted to, and made her sign, take an oath on these bills that we have, our pledge, whatever. We could have, they would have said, I forgot the other guy, they always say, oh, you wanted him to win? That's not how it works. That's not how it works. We would have still been doing the votes to this day, and everybody would have just been going to limbo because I want this, I want that, I want this. And until you agree with this, oh, well, okay, I'm going to agree with it, but Joe Biden's going to, I didn't say nothing about Joe Biden. I didn't say anything about Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Do your job. So the whole thing was to make sure that we know who is who. And Malcolm X told us, you rather fight the wolf. I mean, you rather fight the wolf than a fox. Because the fox is the sneaky one. So if you got everybody that's co-sponsors to Medicare for all, but soon as the shit get real, just like how they thought Bernie was going to win, everybody started backing off of Medicare for all, and they said Medicare for all if you want it, or single payer and this and that, or 10 years and then it's going to be Medicare for all, or some kind of pay in. So yeah, when shit get real, we need to see who is who. Are you really down for this, or are you only riding this wave because it's popular and it's going to get you in your safe blue seat? No matter how bad you are, no matter how many times you didn't turn 360 on us, we are going to be scared to put the Republican to replace you. And even if they coat themselves up as progressives or Democrats, whatever, people are going to be afraid to lose some safe blue seats, and that's why they feel like they can do what the fuck they want.
Yep, very much true. Were you? I know I saw a lot of things online about this. Were you surprised that the squad didn't didn't like,
I mean,
force the vote.
I thought AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, they all already seen from their tweets that they was gonna vote for her. But the disappointment that I had was in Cori Bush and Jamal Bowman. For them to not only be Black and from the hood, and knowing that Nancy don't like Black people, you can tell by the laws that she passed that she's just another racist white woman.
Mm-hmm.
Your first day, and you failed. You came in talking the good stuff, reparations, this and that. I'm like, okay. Well, it sounded like you were gonna be, against the Democratic Party. You wearing the blue symbol, but you're gonna fight for us, right? All right. But your first day, and you just fall for nothing. You just vote for nothing. What did you get? A couple of people got on the committee? Wow. You forgot why you ran? But hey, they think we don't understand how politics work, and they try to make it so boring and slow and this and that. So regular people won't get into it, but no, I know how it works. Y'all would have still been having to vote for Nancy. We would have put Medicare for all on the floor and made y'all vote for this. The Democratic, the Senate is Democratic now. Vote for
it. Right. There's no excuse now.
No excuse.
Do you think that, like, when thinking about like the Biden administration, Biden is another one, said he's going to do all this stuff, right? Do you think that the Biden administration is going to try to fix like social issues that African Americans have in this country, such as like police brutality, or do you think it's more so all talk?
Oh, no. What he's going to do is he's going to write a new Patriot Act, and he's going to cover it up and make sure that if you do question the government, question authority, that you will be, shut up. That way you won't even make it that big of a march as Black Lives Matter and shit like that. They won't. No, he already said shoot him in the leg. Like that's still a death shot, buddy. You don't understand. You never shot anyone, or you never saw a movie, or read a book. You can still die from a shot, from a leg shot. So he don't care about that. He's one of the reasons why the police are what they are. He's saying he's going to give $300 million more to the police. He didn't say anything about giving money to Black communities for after-school programs, libraries, parks. Nothing. So as far as Joe Biden helping the Black community, shit, no, that's not help. That's not happening. They already have a plan to cut taxes for the wealthy, and he's going to do that in his first 100 days. So no, that right there is going to hurt the Black community more than anything. So they just play themselves. That's just it. You got to live and you learn, and sometimes in order to learn, you're gonna have to burn. But the thing is, some Black people aren't paying attention. They just got their hand on the stove and they don't even know it. It's like the drunk uncle. He just got his hand on the stove and don't even know it. Don't even feel it until you got all types of third-degree burns. Then you're like, oh snap, why did I do this? What's wrong with me? And then it's gonna be too late, because when you look up, you see people actually fighting for things that's real instead of like getting a woman in office. Like, okay, we have plenty of women in office, but what are they there for? Like, that's not representation. You got all different types of women that think all different types of ways. And some women are evil. Some men are evil. Just because you're a woman or just because you're a Democrat don't mean you can't be evil. And that's one of the things I always got to point out to my people. They got to pay attention.
Yeah, I feel like they really sold people on, that same kind of mentality that they did when Obama ran. Was like, this could be the first like Black president. she can be the first like Black, you know, VP,
president,
also
yeah.
first female. And I think a lot of people like really fell for that. Like it was like, oh yeah, that would be great, and not really thinking about, but what are they going to do for us?
But we so beat down that people don't even, a lot of people don't even expect nothing, you know, and a lot of people just wanted Trump out of office. Like a lot of first time voters, you know, a lot of people that was born into the Trump administration, you know, basically Trump was all they knew. They didn't know that Obama was a war criminal. They didn't know. These are the people that think, you know, George Bush isn't that bad. George W. Bush isn't that bad. You know, so once they start to get into voting and politics, this is all they know is Trump, 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 Trump. Turn on the TV, Trump, 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 Trump. Turn on podcasts. They're all talking about Trump. Everybody making money off Trump. Everybody making money off Trump. And
so how do you think?
Why I refuse to talk about him like that, because I see it for what it is.
Yeah. How do you think we can get more like African Americans involved in the progressive movement?
We gotta go door to door. Always. It's always face to face, especially with Black people. Black people need to feel your energy, you know, and that's why, like, when niggas come on my page, they come on my videos, like, yeah, I can feel you, bro. You real, like, you know, but they need to feel that in person, because, you know, when we look at the progressive movement and we look at the talking heads, well, the main top talking heads, they're all fucking born white guys, all white bread, all of them born as hell, repeating the same shit MSNBC just said. You know, they not giving you that real feel, and we got to show Black people that we do have representation, you know, on the left and media, you know, and you might not be able to turn on your TV and do it and just watch us, but you know, we're here, we out here, and if you want the truth, you know, we don't have, you know, look us up, motherfucker.
No, I was talking about that recently, that like if you go on YouTube and you're looking for like African American progressive, you know, most of the time you don't really see us. Like the top one that I can think of is Tim Black. Like I see Tim Black and he has a lot. Yep. A lot of subscribers and stuff like that. But then there's all these other people who, you know, they just don't have the platform. So people don't know, and they don't know about them. And it's the same people over and over, or they will present someone that's African American that, again, they don't know about the struggle, because it's like, they're still looking for the other Obama. It's like, well, here's so-and-so that went to Yale and so-and-so that went to Stanford. And it's just like, no, you need to find people that have been through it and know what it's like and can talk to everyday people. Because at the end of the day, as a community, we don't care what school you went to.
Because that's why I always tell my people when they be like, oh, well, you met all these people and you traveled all here and there. Like, damn, you must got a good diploma. I was like, what? I'm a high school dropout. Like, I ain't got none of that. I just, you know, you learn what you learn and teach what you know, but don't lie. Teach what you know, and people will fucking listen, man. That's it. You don't have to be no scholar. Like, it don't take a rocket scientist to know how to take care of a human being. It don't take a rocket scientist to pass these bills. Shit, half of the bills we are going off of are written by slave masters who IQ wasn't near close to ours. It don't take much, but they try to make it seem like, oh, you got to go through this and that. No, the fuck you don't. No, the fuck you don't. I done ran for city council, and they ain't asked me for nothing but my ID. Were you born here? What's your address? I don't give a fuck about none of that.
I think that's important for people to know, because people tend to think that you have to have like all these degrees or something like that in like order to run, because that's what we've been shown so much over the years. And I think that's why it's important to see people like Nina Turner, somebody that can speak to people from all different walks of life. Nobody's asking her where she went to school. Like just stuff like seeing every day, like people that have been through it and they know what it's like. They know what it's like to like not have health insurance or to go without a job for a while because they've been through it. One of the things that came up last year, Ice Cube was talking about like his plan for African Americans. And I noticed that on Twitter, good Lord, Twitter, he got so much like flack from people like Black people, white people, everybody. All of a sudden, everybody was like, let's cancel Ice Cube. And it's just one of those things that I question, like, why is it that whenever you ask like politicians to do something for African Americans, it's a no?
Yeah, like I actually did a couple of videos on this, and I said, this is how they do Black people when you don't, move the way they want you to move, and you let these same white Democrats go and negotiate with these same white Republicans, but when they do it, you call it bipartisanship, and when we do it, we get called coons and sellouts.
Yep.
But then you turn around and say celebrities should use their star power to try to get things done. So who else is in power at that time? If he went to both parties, I don't understand, where's your logic? Did you want us to wait until we get someone with a Democrat tag on them to get reparations? Because if you're trying to get reparations or any form of reparations, it shouldn't matter because all these motherfuckers are slave masters in their own right. We got to get what we're going to get. And if you're going to negotiate, you can't be scared just because a nigga a Republican. Sometimes, most of the time, Republicans agree with more shit with me than than these liberals do. I ain't see not one Republican saying anything about 15 against 15 an hour.
Nope.
That be liberals. Want to look down on a nigga. That's all that shit is.
Yeah, no. I definitely understand that. It's very true. Like even when you talk about so Florida, they have a Republican governor. They passed the $15 an hour for like minimum wage. So it's like the media tries to paint these things as left issues versus right issues. But when you ask people, when you poll people, most people want Medicare for all.
Yep. It's heartbreaking, man. But they just so, I don't know. I don't know, man. A lot of this got something to do with our education system. America is just so fucking undereducated. Our people just, I don't know, a lot of them just running in circles until they die. And, I try to pull people out of this circle, especially with politics. And I always tell people, like, you run in a circle, especially you listen to certain podcasters. And I was just talking about this on my show last night. Like, last night, day before, whatever. Like, some of these podcasters, just like MSNBC, they need your life to be horrible. They need your life to be miserable. Because if it wasn't, there's no reason to be a Patreon. There's no reason to fucking buy the shit that they're trying to sell you.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of them went back, instead of saying, oh, let's go and fight. Let's go out on the streets and march. Let's go out and strike and do this and do whatever it takes. They said, vote for Joe Biden. I'm looking like, oh, okay, I see what y'all doing. Y'all want to go back in that cycle of, the Democrats not doing nothing for us. Oh, nigga, of course they not. But you had the star power to go out there. You got 500,000 million subscribers. You can't even get 20 people out on the streets. Come on, man. You just want that money to go. And a lot of these people seeing that money disappearing because Joe Biden back in office. So now there's no money. There's no more money that's going to be coming from the left. The money is going to be in the center. And you got to somehow appeal to these people. So how can you appeal to the fucking center? Hit the fucking left. Attack the left. Benjamin Dixon, Mike, whatever the fuck his name is on the Humanist Report, Dave Bowie, all the motherfuckers, every last one of them start hitting down on the left because they know that the money is right there on the center and on the right. And the only way they're going to get that shit is by throwing these motherfuckers in circles.
Yeah, it is interesting how people's like platforms have changed. I've noticed that too. It's like, oh, well, what are they gonna talk about now that Trump's leaving? even if they have to like drag him out, like Trump's leaving. So if you spent all these past 4 years just focusing on and talking about Trump, well, it's like, oh, what are you going to talk about now to keep the same like base of people that you have? It's really interesting. That's one of the things that I think I really like about Tim Black, because I feel like he just keeps it real.
Yep, that's my nigga. Tell my nigga.
So yep. So I have one more question for you.
What's going on?
Given everything that's happened over these past 4 years, do you feel that we need another political party?
Yeah, I feel like we need a strong, cutthroat political party. I feel like it's not going to be given. I feel like this party isn't going to be something that we can vote into power. I think it's something that we're going to have to sit and establish on the streets. Look, we want this. We want nothing to do with Democrats. We want nothing to do with Republicans. Millions of people out there, right there on the street, saying this is the party that we want. You know, either that be the Green Party, People's Party, make up your own fucking party. We all come to an agreement that these are going to be the heads, you know what I'm saying, for our financial and this and that, and these are the people who's going to be writing bills for us or trying to get us on these ballots and shit like that. But until then, no. The Democrats and Republicans will sue you to get your party kicked off ballots, you know, and shit like that. So in order to win this fight, we gotta play dirty as we can, because, you know, a lot of people want to, you know, want a revolution, but they don't want to get their hands dirty. They want a, you know, general strike, but inside the house, you know, or they want a non-violent revolution and shit like that. But you got to think about the definition of revolution. You know, revolution causes bloodshed. You know, revolution is for land. A revolution is for government control. So when you talking about a revolution and you asking these, and you looking at the American government and they looking at you like you crazy, because they know what a revolution is, you know. And once you actually understand what the fuck you are talking about, you wouldn't be saying non-violent this, non-violent that, because no, we don't get anywhere by just we shall overcome. You know, we shall overcome it. No, our leaders have been shot in the head for this, you know, poison, you know, for this shit, for us to even be right here talking. And that's what it's gonna take, you know. It's gonna take for some of us to shed blood, sweat, tears, always. But that's only when you actually want something, you know. We can't sit here and wait for the next Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, or whatever, you know. And there shouldn't be a need for one of them. We should already have these basics. But as far as the party, we're gonna have to really go out there in the streets and say we want nothing to do with you people no more. And if you try to strong arm us, we're gonna hurt you, because that's the only way that they understand. That's the only thing they understand. Violence, people getting routed. You know, that's the only time they'd be like, okay, it's time to do something before we get hurt, because these people do live in our communities, or they don't live too far. You never know who's gonna do what or who wants to do what. So, yeah.
All right. Keeping it real, telling the truth. All right, Rome, thank you so much for coming out today.
No problem. No problem. Thank you for having me.
Guys, I'll be sure to put the link to Rome's channel in the detailed description below. And other than that, that's all I have today, guys. Bye.